Hello and good morning. I'm Noel Doherty.
I'm Maggie Elder.
And this is
The Legend Has It podcast,
the world's most improvised podcast, hosted by me, Noel Doherty.
Also me, Maggie Elder.
I thought you were going to be like, also me, Noel Doherty, also.
Why would I have done that?
You know what? Thinking back, it doesn't quite make sense. We are joined today by fan favorite Rhonda Mellon. The Rhonda Mellon, you guys.
Yeah, and don't worry, I know what you all are thinking. Didn't you promise Drew? Where's Drew? We think you might be lying about the whole Drew Barrymore coming on your show.
She was going to come.
She's not here? She's not outside? What happened?
Her flight got delayed. And then they realized that the flight was going the wrong way.
Classic mishap.
Right?
Yeah,
it's hard to be a pilot. It's hard to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And because of the time difference, they actually accidentally went back in time. She came here yesterday. So she's on her way back to today.
Oh, that's so awkward.
We
Honestly, hate when that happens. It's
really rough.
When you have a time loop mishap.
It really makes me think about that one funny time travel related story that me and you have. Yeah. We've never told them about that thing that we experienced.
No, probably, when we went back in time.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, do you remember? So, Noel and I, believe it or not, you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you, went back in time one time. We went back all the way back to the dinosaurs.
I'm so excited for this episode. Picture this.
Time travel.
Neanderthal. Dinosaurs, cavemen.
Yeah.
Our clothes changed. I had one of those brown cloths
with the leopard print.
Yeah,
on it.
And it was cut jig-jagged.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
if everything had to be scrappy back in the time. I was only wearing one of those little skirts.
I had a bone that was holding my hair into a bun. So it was really cute. Actually, I loved my outfit. I had a cool one shoulder dress.
Yeah.
Really funky, honestly. Yeah.
I really loved our looks. I think we were serving.
Yeah, we were serving. All that came in were auga.
I was really serving when it came time to play volleyball.
Yes. I don't know if you guys know this, but volleyball dates back to the Neanderthal age. Neanderthal? What's the...
Neanderthal.
Neanderthal age.
The Neanderthals used to play volleyball with watermelons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why I love watermelons so much.
It was kind of difficult, how they used to play basketball, and it was an actual basket, and every time someone made a basket, you had to go and get the basketball from the basket.
Yeah, I remember that.
Every time the watermelon, that's what they called it, because it was a watermelon and a ball.
Yeah,
naturally.
Yeah.
Every time someone would bump it, it would kind of explode into a million pieces most of the time, so you had to have a lot of watermelons.
And then eventually they adapted it to what we know as the regular volleyball today. Similar to basketball. That was a good reference.
Thank you.
It used to stay in the basket. You had to have really, one really tall guy or a ladder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I remember we landed.
Can you explain to our listeners, how did this time travel mishap occur?
It was, I'd be happy to take the reins on this one. We were walking down the grocery store aisle. We were purchasing a few watermelons to have, you know how I like to keep watermelons around the house.
Yes.
And this little Goblin Man sneaks up from behind us and says his signature catchphrase, which caught my attention and yours at the same time because he said it loudly. I'm a little Goblin Man. And I'm sending you back to the past really far.
I must have been screaming at that time. I must have not heard him. He gets me every time. This is not an unusual occurrence. This little Goblin Man, haunting us practically. Mm-hmm. But every time I'm never expecting it. My back is turned.
He's short and he's ugly.
Yeah.
And he goes, zappity doop.
Just like that.
And we go,
whoa! Just like that.
And suddenly we have to find our way back to the future. But first, I thought, let's do a little exploring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take advantage of the time.
How many people really get to be back in the prehistoric ages? I was a little bit confused now that I'm thinking about the timeline, about Neanderthals existing and also dinosaurs. I thought that those did not align.
Well, I guess we have to fix the history books because
We
were there.
We were there. So, if anything, we're the most correct.
Well, I saw them with my own two eyes.
Yeah. What I was not expecting was dinosaurs talking, having their own language.
I know, right? I was like freaking out. You ever see those movies where like the dog starts talking, or like the bees? You ever see a movie where a bee starts talking to a human, and the human goes, "What?"
And the bee asks like some really interesting question about music, perhaps.
You like jazz? She starts spilling the coffee, then proceeds to stab herself in the head with a fork. Hypothetically, I'm making this up.
It was like that vibe.
I'm talking to a bee, and the bee is talking to me. Like
that vibe, but imagine...
dinosaurs.
Triceratops was the first one we came across.
Yes.
And I literally went, oh, that thing's kind of ugly.
The one with the spikes.
And then he went, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
English.
They spoke
English. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't he's really upset.
Like modern day English.
Also,
he goes, excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me. Just like that.
And we go.
A Triceratops is not the one with the spikes. A Triceratops is the one with kind of imagine a stop sign head.
Oh.
Not the one that it's the non-moving one.
Yeah, it's a part of it.
It's a part of it, yeah. The ones with the spikes, I can't remember.
Stegosaurus.
Definitely not right. Stegosaurus is the big one, the big long one. How do you not know this? We were literally back with the dinosaurs.
Stegosaurus has horns on the back. And a T-Rex is really tall, and a pterodactyl flies. And a Triceratops has like a...
Pterodactyl technically isn't a dinosaur. But we're not going to get into that. I'm pretty sure Stegosaurus is the big long-necked one. We should have asked them while we were there.
We should have asked, hey, what's your name? And then...
Well, we asked their name, but they had
like regular names.
Like, I'm Javanna. Kind of a little bit normal.
Javanna was the first one we met.
Yeah, I was like, that's a little weird. And the next one was like, hey, I'm Bill. And I was like...
And Javanna and Bill took us back to their home and their cave on the north side of the village.
Yes.
They were friends with the humans.
It was bizarre. It was so bizarre, the fact that this isn't talked about. Like, that we didn't know. How did we not figure this out from fossils? The beautiful connection, like dogs and humans. You know, it was more than that, though, because there was communication.
They were so welcoming.
In harmony.
I can't believe they were so kind to us. They welcomed.
Except that one guy.
Ryblo.
Yes.
He was so rude.
He was so rude. Comes out, big old teeth, going, yeah.
You are new.
Everyone goes, don't mind Ryblo. He's rude.
He was super rude. Mm-hmm. And then they introduced us to the town medicine woman. And the medicine woman... No, the medicine woman.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes.
The medic was a separate
I forgot.
woman as well.
Hey, go ahead.
But the medicine woman's like, you came back in time, eh?
She knew immediately.
She could
had
tell.
This gem around her neck. It was like a crystal. And we walked in the room and it glue a little. Mm-hmm. And she grabbed it and she goes, I've been expecting you. She was a psychic. She was a psychic from the past.
They had those back then.
Yes. Because psychics don't exist now. Because if they did exist now, they would call you for the appointment.
Yeah. You ever go to a psychic and you knock on the door and they're like, oh.
Who is it? What do you mean?
You should know. I feel like that's part of your job, maybe.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, sorry. We don't usually, like...
$70 for a session.
We're not ready. Or, like, we can do virtual... Like, no.
Yeah. We'll do an on-call...
Take it in person.
Or very obvious.
Psychic. We had a bad run-in with a psychic.
Real life scenario. Yes. It's all real life. This was more recent.
This one was more recent.
Anyway, psychic medicine woman whose name was Shazam.
Shazam brings us to her hut. And she says,
We'll tell you right after this break.
do you ever have problems with little goblin men?
Perhaps. Are they coming and going when you don't want them to be?
Do they send you to the past unconsensually?
Or curse you with little things like a plague on your family or your crops not growing?
Try Goblin Away today. For just $12.99, you can get an entire bottle of Goblin Away to spray away any goblins, any little goblin men of your choosing.
Spray away the little goblin men, they're coming your way, so spray away. Little goblin men, spray away.
Call the number at the bottom of your screen.
Call 1-800, little goblin men, go away.
Back to the story.
Eddie Hay.
Shazam brings us to her cauldron, which she has.
And she's saying, so you want to return back
to the future.
That movie, just saying, inspired by us. That's not legally, we aren't allowed to say that, but it was us first.
Definitely legally not allowed.
Anyway, she said, so you want to go back to the future? And we said, yes, we would like that very much, Shazam. And she gave us 3 ingredients for the potion.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking the exact same thing as you because I was there, and also I was thinking that we have to find 3 things.
3 ingredients. 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients.
3 ingredients.
For the potion to send us back forward in time. That's what she said. As she's spinning, what is it called? Cabbage patching the cauldron. She goes, I send you on a quest. 3 ingredients to find the potion that will send you back to your time. If you want to be okay, the little goblin man away, then drink the potion and do not stay. You have 24 hours.
Until we're stuck there forever.
Forever. Well,
now, little spoiler alert. We did find the 3 items. That's why we're here again today.
Do you remember what they were?
Yes. She looks at us in the eyes. She says, 1. You must find the whisker of the smallest mouse on the mountain.
2. The right shoe of the biggest villager in the village.
And 3. You must climb down the steps of the darkest cave in town and retrieve the ruby from the mirror. The king's crown?
Yes, she said either. There's gonna be 2 rubies.
She was like, honestly, with that last one, get it from the cave.
Yeah.
Get it from the king's crown.
Yeah.
We've got rubies
Go down
to spare.
the cave. There's gonna be a couple rubies. Pick one of those bad boys and throw it into the cauldron. Everything else very specific.
And honestly, like she was like, if you're really struggling with the ruby, like I can give you one of my own, but I want you to look first.
Yeah. So you went naturally to hunt for the whisker.
Mm-hmm.
I went for the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of those really cool break moments where we look at each other and we go, break.
Break. That's the lamest break thing. Not like, let's go, or like, back to the future. Or like, let's...
Oh, whoa. It's time. We sing an entire song for our break.
We put our hands in and we're like...
Break, break, break.
Shazam's like, go! You have 24 hours! Get out of here!
Yeah.
So I start sprinting to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I say, which mountain? She says, that one. I go, and I find a trail, and it's a windy trail. It's going up and up and up. And on the way, I met a traveling salesman. Mm-hmm. And he goes, shh. He has a Morocco.
Yeah.
He has a... Morocco.
Morocco is...
A country
yeah.
or something.
God.
Extremely offensive.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Morocco? Go ahead.
He has a Morocco, and he's like, stay with me. I'll give you gold aplenty. And I can even give you a mouse whisker. Ooh. He winked.
He knew?
And I was like, wait a minute. That's exactly what I'm looking for. How did you know?
Yeah.
And
what did he look like?
He looked like like he had a hat on and he had hair over his face and he had a robe. But I kind of looked deep into his eyes and I go, you know how when you're looking closer at something, you lean in?
Yeah, you turned the music down in your car so you can see better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true, by the way. And I looked into his eyes and they were kind of glowing this like dirty green color. And I was like, I know those eyes.
I know those eyes anywhere.
I've only met one man with those eyes. I think the Goblin Man is trying to disguise me and trick me on my way, so I'm stuck here forever. So what did I do? I snatched his wig. I pulled it up.
Gotcha!
Gotcha!
Got red-handed.
And it was him. Underneath. Fake hair, fake hat. Well, real hat,
Yeah.
but fake hair.
Could you tell because he was doing a little jig? Did that like give a little hint? Under his robe, you saw his feet moving a little bit.
He was like, diddly-diddly-diddly, come with me and I'll give you the whisker.
Yeah.
And I go, not today. And I start hiking up the mountain more. And I'm more than halfway up the mountain. And then do you want to update us on where you are?
Sure, yeah. So my job was kind of easy. I went to the village. They were so welcoming. And I was like, hey, does anyone know where the biggest villager is? And they were like, oh, you mean Craig? I was like, yeah, I need his right shoe. And they were like, ooh, that's going to be a problem. And I was like, I'll figure it out. And so they send me, they're like, he's down that way, go right, and then take a left at the tree or whatever. And so I did. And then when I got there, and I knock on the door, and he opens the door, and I notice he only has his right foot. So I'm taking his only shoe.
Does he not have multiple pairs?
No, he has the one pair of shoes that are his favorite. It says on the toe.
It's not a pair. It's not a pair. It's just the one.
He has one shoe. It says on his toe, this is my favorite shoe. And I was like, ooh, I hate to ask this, Craig. Can I have your shoe? And he was kind of confused. He was like, I don't understand. Why would you want my shoe? Why would you do this to me? I didn't really have time to explain it to him. So I kind of had to like yank the shoe off of him. It was really upsetting. He was crying. He was like, please don't take my shoe. I was like, you don't understand. We're from the future. I have to go back. Yeah. And then I ran away and I left to find you.
You left to find me?
Did you remember the spit take after you almost did a real spit take?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I left to find you, shoe in hand, tears. That's why I was all crying. I'm going to write him a letter. I hope it reaches him.
From the past.
Yes. I'm going to throw in a bottle in an ocean because that's how you travel letters back in time.
That's true. So flashback to me, flash side to me. And I'm all the way up the mountain and I find this mouse colony. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of mice. And I start going in, and they're so nice, and they're like, do you have any cheese? And I'm like, I brought a little. And I give them, and I sprinkle them cheese. And while they were all distracted, I go over to the newborns, and they literally, I don't know why I expected it to be, like, tough to, like, steal whiskers from a small mouse. They were just sitting there. They were newborn.
Like stealing candy from a baby.
Stealing candy from a baby type beat.
Yeah. So
I pull out the scissors, and I snip a whisker from the tiniest little... It was a small whisker as well. But I go...
I remember.
Because this is all I need. Start running back down the mountain, and I try to find you.
We meet halfway up the mountain, which was convenient because the cave, the steps that led to the cave, she told us, I forgot in the one part of her song where she goes, the cave that's halfway up the mountain, not the fountain, something, mountain again. I was really listening for the whole thing. So we found the stairs, and we wandered our little feet all the way down, shoe in hand, whisker in hand. We came to 2 doors. Doors. And the one door said...
There's 50 lions in here, and they're so hungry because they haven't eaten in a whole year. And then the second door said, "There's poison gas in here."
And then there was a sign in the middle that said, "Choose."
And we're like, shoot, we don't want to die from the poison gas, but we also don't want to die eaten by lions.
Yeah. Luckily, I remembered that I had a friend that was a lion trainer. So I was like, you know what? They gave me a rundown one time. We can handle these really hungry lions. We chose the lions. Turns out they're dead.
They were dead.
Because it's been a year since they've eaten. We're like, even more convenient.
Yeah.
In there, the crown, the mirror, a lot of rubies, some mysterious other things that we're not going to get into. So we plucked a ruby.
We reached into the crown that was in the mirror.
Yes.
Pulled the ruby out. And we're like, dude,
we did this in like 20 minutes.
Like
this journey was easy peasy.
We have time to kill. We put everything in one little box, and we decided to spend some quality time with the villagers.
It was great. I apologized to Craig. I made him a new shoe. I felt really good about that. We had a hug. We had some heart to heart.
I started hanging out with Shazam. She is so fun.
Yeah.
Like the nightlife in Neanderthal era.
Oh my gosh, they go
so
wild.
blind.
They don't even sleep. It's the
we drank
village
ayahuasca.
that never sleeps.
The village that never sleeps.
So anyway, soon we realize it's been 23 hours and 59 minutes.
And I'm like, shoot, Maggie!
Yeah, I'm across the village. So we're running out of time. She's stirring. She's saying some magic words. To the time, forward you go. Every day is another throne because the past is far and the future is near. But don't forget your biggest fear. The Goblin Man
is coming for you.
So this is what you're
going to do. And then she gives us the potions. And we go, bottoms up.
And we drink it. With that cryptic message left in us, we forgot to ask about what we're supposed to do for the little Goblin Man who's coming back for us. We literally just got back, actually, in fact.
I thought it would be best to just immediately, just like while the story's fresh in our minds.
This is the rest of the potion. It's really good. I've been sipping on it. Really
Careful,
delicious.
Maggie. You'll go to the future with Drew Barrymore.
That's all right. I'll see her.
By the way, I did get a text while you were talking, Maggie. You didn't see it, but I got a text. Drew Barrymore said she can make it next week. For sure, for sure.
God. We are going to have no problems. She's going to be here on this couch, sitting and telling us what she's been waiting to tell us.
She said she has a surprise.
She says she has the most important news.
So I guess we just have to wait until next week. I'm Noel Doherty.
I'm Maggie Elder.
This is The Legend Has It podcast. We are on major podcasting platforms as well as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe.
You should subscribe.
Or we'll send you to the past with the little Goblin Man.
It's beautiful.
I
wasn't gonna go that route, but I'm really glad you did.
I just love singing.
Yeah, I know you do. Thanks so much, everyone.